Guys, I am so tired. So I got up this morning, and when I walked past the mirror, I had to do a double take, and I looked and I was thinking there's something different. Like you look different. And y'all, it wasn't about the weight loss. It was about the tired puffiness and dark circles under my eyes. I looked at myself for a minute and I was like, girl, you need some rest. So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Pamela and I'm on a weight loss journey using lifestyle modification and a little help from some compounded Tirzepatide. Today I'm going to go over my results for week 40 and I'm going to talk about what's been going on this week and why I'm so tired. So let's jump right into it. First, let's go over my results because I know that's what most of you are here for. And I am sorry, it is a mess right now. I am trying to clean up my couches. Like you see, I've got a sheet on this couch because y'all know I have pets. I'm trying to sell my couches so that I can make room for the new couches, the new couch that I bought. And so I'm trying to clean these up and get them pristine so that when I sell them, I can get top dollar for them. So I've taken all of the cushions off, taken the covers off the cushions, taken all the stuffing out of the pillows, washed everything, got down under where the cushions go with a vacuum and lint roller and went in all the crevices and everything to make sure there was no crumbs, no dog hair, no nothing. And now I've done the chair and I've done the large couch, which I'm still working on now. We still have the love seat to go. And I still have 3 pillows to stuff for the large couch. And so I've got it covered with a sheet now, so no other dust, debris, dog hair, anything gets on it. But that's what I'm working on right now. I've got a million projects going on. So let's talk about my results. If you watched my video last week for week 39, I weighed in at 151.2 pounds. Now, just to recap, when I started my weight loss journey on compounded Tirzepatide, I was 196.9 pounds, and that was in November of 2024. And I'm 5'2" for reference. 196.9 pounds to last week was about 45 pounds lost. Well, today this Friday, because today is Sunday, this Friday when I weighed in, I was 150.6 pounds. So I have lost a half a pound since last week, or roughly a half a pound. I've lost 0.6 pounds since last week. And I've lost a total of 46 pounds even since starting my Tirzepatide journey. So, you know that I have been talking about, should I go up in my dosage? Should I stay at the same dosage? And I was really fighting to stay at the same dosage, and because I don't want to titrate up too soon. And I know that I had not been eating the best, which I felt like was contributing to the food noise that was starting to creep up. But then on the other hand, I was having a hard time getting back on track too. So I did tweak my dosage just a little bit. I went up to 37.5 units, which is roughly 6.5 milligrams. So I'm gonna do that this week and see how this week goes before I go up any further. I'm not going up to 7.5 just yet. I know that's gonna be too strong. And I feel like today is Sunday. It's only been 2 days since I've taken my injection, and I'm feeling the suppression. I'm not hearing the food noise as much. And so I'm feeling like this is working for me. Now, this week, I have to take out your trash cans. Now, this week. I have been so busy. So, of course, getting back to work and getting back into the routine of working again and still trying to manage things around the house. Y'all, you see one of my nails, I've taken off one. I need to soak off the rest of these. These have been, I've had these acrylics on since August, beginning of August, right before my birthday, because I got them done for my birthday. And they've grown out quite a bit, but I've just been too busy to actually soak them. I did cut them down some because they were a little long to begin with, long for me. And so yeah, this one came off yesterday and I'm like, I just need to soak off the rest of them. But I've been so busy. I've got 2 art projects going on in the garage. I finished up 2 other art projects. Of course, you know, I'm working on cleaning the couches. I've got 2 more artworks that, well, I said 2, 3 that I'm currently, 2 that I'm working on, 1 that is waiting to be done. And these are textured wall arts. I've got 1 other large art piece that was above my couch at the old house that I am going to paint over and do a texture wall art on that with some fabric. And so that is out in the garage. And then I have another art piece up here that no longer goes with the aesthetic that I will be doing. I think it's a big flower, and I think I'm just going to paint the flower in a more neutral color that goes more with the vibe. And then here I have, this is not necessarily a project, but I have this big space on this kind of big open space between my living room and the side of the kitchen. In the side of the kitchen, I have like an picture gallery. And then of course, on this side of the living room, I have my TV, but between there was just this big open space. So I thought perfect spot to put a tree. Well, the tree that I had at my old house was really small. It's not even a tree. I have it in my bedroom now, and it's almost like a palm looking tree, but it's a plant rather, I don't know, but it's only about 3 feet high, 4 feet maybe at the most. I think it's about 3 feet. I have it in a raised planter, so it's taller. It looks taller than it is. So it really didn't, I wanted something that was tall enough to kind of divide up the space. So I got something from At Home, brought it, put it there, didn't like it. I liked I bought a stone planter to put it in, and I liked that, but I just didn't like the vibe of the plant. And I'll put a little picture in and show you. It wasn't tall enough, and it was, when I got it here, the color was off. It didn't look the same as it looked in the store, and it just, it wasn't right. So I took that back. I bought a fiddle leaf fig tree, a faux, of course, because y'all know I do not have a green thumb. I will kill literally anything that is not self-sufficient. So I bought a faux fiddle leaf fig tree, and I love the fiddle leaves, and I think they're becoming more popular, but it looks too fake, and it's just not giving what I wanted it to give. So now I have an olive tree, which is what I wanted in the first place. But when I was at Home, everything that looked really nice was really expensive. And I just so happened to come across this one on a YouTube video that I was watching, I don't know, I came across this one online, and somebody was mentioning how they like this one because it's not just the one straight branch or, you know, straight branches. It kind of like has more angles to it, and you'll see what I mean when I unbox it. Hopefully it looks like it did in the picture. And the one that they had tagged was a 6-foot tree, for $100. And then the 7-foot tree was like $130, but it had a $35 coupon on it. So I got the 7-foot tree, which I'm excited. The fiddle leaf tree that I have over there now, I think is a 6-foot tree. It looks pretty tall, but if I remember correctly, it was a 6-foot tree. And again, I do have it raised up a little bit in the pot. I put some little garden rocks, underneath it to kind of elevate it a little bit, and also to put some more weight underneath it to keep the planter from tipping over, because you know I have my grandson here sometimes, and of course I didn't want him like pulling on it or anything and it falling over. So we're gonna see how this one looks in comparison to that. And that's pretty much the last of the decor that I will be getting, other than there are some a couple of more throw pillows that I want to get. I do have some that I've already gotten. I am going to reuse two of the ones that I had because they're down filled, and of course down pillows are they're more expensive, and these were a good size and I really liked them. The covers on them did not match, so I bought a few more pillow covers that I will put. And this is what, oh God, it's heavy. This is what I mean by the branches are not just straight up. I will say that this does look more plasticky than that one, but maybe from a distance it won't. We shall see. But I do like how this one kind of comes off, and so you've got the tree that's going up and then it's kind of going to the side. So I'm going to put this together and we'll see how this is going to look. But that is why I am so exhausted. I've just got so much going on, and even when I'm going to bed at night, my mind is racing about what I still need to do, and it's kind of making it hard for me to sleep. But yeah, I need to get more rest. So luckily tomorrow is a holiday, which means that this week I will not be working my 10-hour shifts. I'll be working my 8-hour shifts. I'm not working overtime for the time being, simply because I'm just too tired. I have too much to do. So I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to get right back with y'all once it's done. And I'm going to let you guys be the judge of which one looks better. So let me get to this. This is what the olive tree looks like out of the box and fluffed up. I did have to bend some of the branches a little bit to fill in any spaces that were looking a little bare. And of course I did have to separate the leaves and kind of turn some of them. They were all facing the same direction, and I wanted to give it a more natural, realistic appearance. So I did kind of curl the leaves a little bit. So it did take quite some time, but this is the finished look. And of course the planter is not the planter that it comes in. It comes in just a plain black planter. So I did have to put it in my own planter. But let me know what you guys think, this one or the fiddle leaf one. This olive tree will be linked down in the description below. I also will link the fiddle leaf tree. However, I got that one from Home Depot. The olive tree is from Amazon. Obviously, I'm in a different place. I'm waiting for my daughter to get off work, so I am at her job in the parking lot. And I wanted to finish the conversation about my dosage, So I have been taking 35 units, which for my compound is 5.95 milligrams, for several weeks now. Typically, for most of my doses, it usually will be about 2 to 3 months before it starts being not as effective. Well, I am now at the end of 4 months on the 5.95 milligrams. So, with that in mind, I know that I hadn't been eating the best over the last few weeks or the last month since the move, but I'm also thinking that the dosage may be contributing, or the fact that it could be wearing down, or my body is just getting used to it, could be contributing to the return of the food noise. I think it's possible that with the stress and sorry, there's a lot of action going on right now. Usually it's pretty quiet. It's Sunday night. She works at a mall, but the mall is closed. Like, it's 7:30. So everything is pretty much closed other than the restaurants. So it's just interesting that there's so much traffic. There's already been 2 sets of people trying to go in the door to the bookstore that she works at. And so anyway, but I feel like the return of the food noise is not just due to the stress and due to the fact that I have been making poor choices. I think that it's also my body has now gotten used to the 5.95 milligrams. And I think that that has contributed to me making poor choices, because when the medication is at its peak of effectiveness, I am usually able to control those urges and cravings for foods that I wouldn't normally eat. So, taking all of that into consideration, I did decide to go ahead and up my dose. And again, I cannot go from the 2.5 to 5 to 7.5. So being on 5.95, I just upped it by 2.5 units, which now would be 37.5 units. And for my compound, that's going to put me at 6.375 milligrams. And so I'm going to see how that goes for this week and decide if the food noise is any better. Now, again, I took my shot on Friday. So today is Sunday. I'm noticing a difference already, I believe. So I think that this might be a good balance for me to not just jump all the way up to the 7.5, but kind of be in the middle with the 6.375. I thought about going up to 40 units, which would be 6.8 milligrams. But at the same time, I really didn't even want to titrate up. It was kind of the urging of my doctor that I decided to go ahead and give in, and all of the other things, taking those into consideration. After having that conversation, it was decided that it was probably best. And then also considering, which for me, this is the last consideration, even though, of course, we are on this medication for weight loss. And over the last month, I have not really lost very much weight. If anything, I'm losing and gaining the same pound or two. So that was also a consideration. I really wasn't putting too much weight on it because I knew how I had been eating. But again, taking into consideration that the food noise returning is possibly because of my body getting used to this dose, and not just the stress, but all of that being contributing factors, I decided that yes, it probably is time to go up. So that's what I did. I did 37.5 units, 6.375 milligrams for me. And we're going to see how this week goes. And if I'm still feeling like the food noise is a little bit out of control, then I will go up to the 40 milligrams or 40 units. So 6.8 milligrams, which that was what my doctor recommended. And I fought, so we compromised. So yeah, that's where I'm at for this week. I already put up the tree that I was talking about, the olive tree that I purchased. I did get this off of Amazon. I will link it down below if you're interested. The other tree, the fiddle leaf tree that I'll put the picture in for comparison, that one I got from Home Depot, which I can link that also. To me, it just looks a little too fake. The olive tree I'm happy with. I do wish it was a little bit more full, but after I fluffed it up and, you know, arranged the leaves and everything, I feel like it's a good size. I'm loving the size. I just wish it was a little bit more full. So I think what I might do is, if I can find some olive tree stems that match, I might just add those to it. And that's simple. All you do is you drill a little hole in the tree trunk and hot glue the stems in. You know, you cut them to the size that you want and then hot glue those in. I think I'm also going to glue the leaves in place, because on some of the stems that are on the tree, the leaves were all kind of gathered together, and I kind of spread them out some, but they just they're not as tight on the stem, I guess, as they should be. And so they kind of turn around, and which was fine because I was able to adjust them pretty easily, but I don't want them to just adjust on their own over time, if that makes sense. So I might hot glue those into place so that it stays looking like it did when I fluffed it. It's kind of like a Christmas tree, an artificial Christmas tree. When you take it out every year, you have to like fluff the branches. So that's kind of how it was. I did have to kind of bend some a little bit just to kind of make it look more natural. And I also, the other thing that I think I'm going to do is take some antiquing wax and put that on the tree trunk, because I think, and I know why they did it, the tree trunk looks a little greenish, and I'm thinking that's the olive tone. And I don't know, I need to look at some olive trees online and see, are they really that green? Because it's the olives that are on the tree are the black olives. But the trunk is kind of has an olive undertone to it. It actually has like an olive tone, a really strong olive tone to it. And so I would kind of want to tone that down. So I'll probably get some antiquing wax and just kind of brush that on there to tone it down, make it fit a little bit more into the neutral aesthetic of my living room. But otherwise, I'm really happy with it. I don't know. I mean, this is a weight loss channel, but I'm talking about home decor. But this all plays into why I've been so tired lately. See, this is the ADHD brain at work, and this is how everything is like one thing snowballs into something else, and I'll get started on something and then I get distracted and I get into something else, and then it's like, oh, you know, I am notorious for not finishing projects. I want to get all these projects done so that I can have my house the way that I have envisioned it. And so that's what I'm working on. That is what I will be doing all day tomorrow, because I do have to finish up those projects and clean out a space in the garage so that I can put the couches that I've cleaned out there. I'm going to keep one in my living room that I will probably wait to clean until closer to the date that my new couch is delivered. I've got about 2 more weeks before it's delivered, and I just, because we need something to sit on in there, and I think that the love seat will be the one, because that's the one I haven't started on yet, other than the throw pillows. So I want to get the other 2 couches out in the garage so I don't have to worry about cleaning them again once they get purchased. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I know I went off on a complete tangent, totally left field, but again, ADHD brain at work, and yeah, it's exhausting. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. And if you stayed to this point, thank you for listening to me ramble about my week and what I'm doing with my home and all that jazz. I will catch you guys back here next week with my next weekly update. Until then, stay blessed.